Mic check, mic check. What's going on, world? You already know it's your boy SB, and I'd like to welcome y'all back to episode 29 of season 5 of the Roll Up Podcast. As always, before we get started, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of y'all for y'all continuous support. If you subscribe to the podcast, whether it be on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for genuinely supporting the movement. Thank you for spreading the movement via word of mouth. Thank you for allowing this podcast to be a beacon of positivity on your journey. The reason why we're going where we're going is credit to the love and support that y'all give day in and day out. And as I've said 1,000 times, I shall forever give thanks like a pilgrim. But before we get down to the get down, you know we got to handle some business first. I would like to extend the invitation, if you haven't done so already, to like, comment, and subscribe to the campaign. Be sure to lock into the Sauce Brady Experience on YouTube. I got some great visual content that I can't wait to share with y'all. So make sure y'all stay locked into that. And also be sure to follow me on Instagram and Threads at The Roll Up Podcast. Also be sure to tap into the saucebradyexperience.com. That's the official hub of The Roll Up Podcast. I got a lot of great content that's getting ready to get added to the movement. And the one way to not miss a beat is to stay tapped into the hub and stay up to date with what's to come. Also, be sure to check out the Sauce Factory and the spot and grab you some merch. You can use code TRUPOD, that's TRUPOD, to receive 30% off your merch. The Season 5 collection going crazy. I don't want you to miss out on it, so make sure you get that exclusive before this shit get popping and the price go up. I currently have 2 books for sale right now on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. One is titled Here's the Truth. The other is titled You Deserve Better. Again, both are great reads, whether you're on day 1 or day 421. And the content is relatable, so it'll help you give that extra nudge to keep going. Also, 420 is tomorrow, so you already know. I'll also be starting a new campaign titled Gaming with Sauce, where I live stream some of my favorite video games, and we also do a Q&A so we can chop it up and connect with one another. I'm excited to embark on this live stream journey, so make sure y'all stay tapped in for that as well. But now that we got that out the way, it's time that we get down with the get down. On the last episode, we talked about the importance of being emotionally intelligent. In this episode, we provide concrete evidence that the life we have and the life we want is only separated by discipline. On today's episode, we're going to dive in a little deeper on the topic of discipline in correlation to achieving our goals. And as always, y'all know we got to kick the episode off with a quote. And today's quote is by Jim Rohn, and it reads, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment." To get a better understanding of the definition, let's break down the 2 key words, discipline and accomplishment. By definition, discipline is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. Or in other words, training yourself to do what's necessary to achieving your goals and life's response when you stray away from your purpose. The other word I like to highlight is accomplishment, or something that has been achieved successfully. In today's time, everybody wants everything quick. And as the old saying goes, what lasts won't come easy, and what comes easy won't last. So how do we get from point A to point B? The answer is simple, but it's complex at the same time, and it's discipline. When you think about it, setting goals and talking about how it will feel to achieve those goals is the easy part. It's the consistency of showing up that separates the cream of the crop. When you think about any organization, any company, or any startup, the amount of hard work it takes to create an idea on paper and see it manifest in real time is truly magical. But it's the discipline in the creative process that really solidifies anything. Think about it. In sports, the teams that usually go undefeated, shout out to USC, or have the title of the best teams in the world, they're usually the most disciplined teams. The men and women who constantly break barriers and ultimately pave the way for us to do what we do now took discipline. To be great at anything requires a strict regimen, and with a perfect mixture of consistency and effort, they will come to pass. So I conjured up a couple of key points to help stay disciplined towards your goals. We're about to get into it right now. Step number 1. We've talked about this before, but it's important to remember why you started. Step number 2. You got to know yourself. As we touched on in the last episode, being emotionally intelligent is vital. Step number 3, exercise, not just physically, but mentally. And lastly, step number 4, reward positive behavior. As I've said many times before, the difference between where we are and where we want to be lies within the work that needs to be done in between. That groundwork will only be executed efficiently through discipline. As we touched on earlier in the season, remembering why you started is a crucial component to achieving your goals. When we remember the why, the how becomes easy. For me, I want to be the first to break generational curses and pass down generational wealth from my kids to their kids and further on down. And this can only be achieved through discipline and focus required on accomplishing this task. Remembering the why is also a key part in managing your responses to certain situations. By remembering the why, you're keeping the visual in front of you and allowing the direction of your attention guide the energy of your intentions. Second step in becoming disciplined is you have to know yourself. When you're truly in tune with yourself, you have crystal clear instructions on what you can and can't do. When you practice self-discipline, not only does it bubble over into your work ethic, but it also pours into you. It can help you overcome procrastination, can help you gain confidence, can help you get rid of negative habits, and can positively influence you to find better habits. Having this extra dose of self-discipline can help you achieve heights you've only dreamt of, but it all comes down to the power of your choices. When it's time to elevate, you're going to keep holding yourself back from greatness, or are you going to answer the call and put the work in? Third step is practice mental exercising. When it comes to being disciplined and locked in on the process, there are certain things that can't be taught. They can only be experienced. And if you want to be successful as bad as you say you want to, it's going to require an insane amount of want to. Growing up, my coaches would always say, you can't coach want to. And when you think about the discipline required to be great, nobody wants to do the hard work or the mundane task. But the chosen few understand that if you want it as bad as you say you do, the only way to it is through it. Again, when we think about sports or any team, everybody has strengths and weaknesses. You don't get stronger by playing to your strengths. You get stronger by building on your weaknesses. Same goes with life. Life isn't going to always give you problems you can handle. It's going to present opportunities for us to lean in on our past experiences and our current mindsets to prove that we have learned the lessons required. The last step is to give yourself a reward for sticking to the plan, especially when it comes to doing the task we don't want to do. Adding a reward system in place will help you stay focused on the mission at hand. By giving yourself the proper acknowledgement, you are eager to keep this good feeling in circulation. This will only lead to consistency in the process. I get it. It's a lot going on in our world every day, especially when you have kids. It's always something going on, but as I've said before, if achieving your goals was important, you will always find a way to dedicate a few moments to this mission. If your goals aren't that important, then you're going to find excuses. As we continue to trek throughout 2024, it's important that we get in the consistent habit of practicing self-discipline. The benefits of locking in on your mission outweighs the burden of procrastinating on your gifts. It's time that we practice improving ourselves every single day. It's time that we improve the time that we spend on our goals every single day. It's time that we improve our emotional responses to the adversities that we face. It's time that we get extremely serious about where we are, and what we are trying to accomplish this year. And as we embark on this mission to greatness, today's quote sends us off perfectly. Discipline is the distance between goals and accomplishment. In closing, it's time that we get serious about what we are trying to accomplish in life. Life isn't going to get any easier, but if you focus on yourself, the mission, and executing your plan efficiently, you will always find your way to where you need to be. The second quarter of the year is underway, and in 6 months from now, you will either have results or you'll have excuses. It's time to shake that bug of inactivity. It's time to shake that imposter syndrome. It's time to cut the comparisons, to cut the excuses, and use today as a starting point to building the life of your dreams. It's been a pleasure spending some time with you today. I hope I said something that flipped the switch inside of you to lock in on your goals. The distractions are out there, and while that instant gratification feels good, delayed gratification feels way better. Keep your head down. Strive to be 100% intentional with your efforts, and trust the process is taking you where you need to be. I just want to say thank you for streaming today's episode of the Roll Up Podcast. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, because we are going up. Make sure you tap into the saucebraidexperience.com. Make sure you, like, comment, and subscribe wherever you seek motivation. Be sure to grab you some merch, man. And as always, roll a fatty, because guess what? You deserve it, and 420 is tomorrow. So, if you got access to a dispensary, if you got access to a local businessman in your area, make sure you get right, because it's up. And as always, man, have a good day. Peace.